Hey guys, my name is Abdullah and I just finished watching a new anime called Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress by the studio that made Attack on Titan. The basic premise of this anime is about humans living on an island named Himamoto, and they live behind these walled cities, and where outside of those walls live these immortal-like zombie creatures that prey upon them. Now, if that sounds like Attack on Titan to you, I promise you it is not the same anime. It is a whole different anime, and with just too many similarities. Now, my theory behind why there might be the similarities, which are too many. First of all, it's by the same studio that made Attack on Titan, so you can't blame them for trying a successful formula all over again. Second, it's by the director who directed Attack on Titan and Death Note. So again, they thought it was a successful formula. They roped in possibly most of the original team. Now, let me start talking to you about the first episode. So, we start off in a train where some people are traveling through an abandoned station that's been infested by some Kabaneri, and they're going at full speed. They can't take the risk of being infested by these creatures. And as they're rushing through, they're crushing down trees, breaking through rubble. The Kabaneri start attacking them, and the Kabaneri, they're not weak; they're strong. They're hanging on so tightly with the full speed train, and they're actually managing to attack people from the small slots of air that they have, and so you could tell they're very strong. Another thing is, in this moment we're kind of given the type of conditions these people live under. The Kabaneri are successful in scratching one of the humans, and he's only given two options: kill yourself or be killed. And he takes the honorable way of leaving the world and ends up killing himself. So after that happens, while this is happening, we're like cutting towards a scene where our main character is testing his new invention, which is a more modern like gun compared to the ones that the current authority officers are using. And it turns out his experimentation was a failure. Not enough momentum, you could say. So as we go towards the next day, and another train, he goes to his work, and a train arrives. He's one of those, like, you could say he's like an engineer. So the people on the train are being inspected if they've been cut by Kabaneri or if they've been bitten or scratched. And as this is happening, he's collecting pieces of Kabaneri left, and grabs some heart to experiment with, you could say. He's trying to find a way to end these creatures and find a solution to the problem. So while he's talking to his friend about this, a commotion starts where a man being inspected runs away from the authority figures, saying he's not a Kabaneri, I'm not a Kabaneri, I'm not a Kabaneri, I'm not one of them. And the authorities, thinking that he's been scratched and is becoming a Kabaneri, and the main character stands up for him, saying you can't kill him. He has to be put in jail and observed for about 3 days to see if he builds any of the traits and characteristics of a Kabaneri. But the authority figures do not want to follow the law and end up shooting the alleged human that's a Kabaneri and arresting the main character. You might be wondering how they found out that this human wasn't a Kabaneri. Well, apparently, the weaponry that this society uses is not able to kill any Kabaneri for life, and this human ended up dead. So, not only were these authorities wrong, they still had the audacity to arrest the main character. So, next we cut to the main character in his prison cell, which wasn't really a prison cell. You could say it was more like a wooden cage for him. And he's visited by a royalty figure that traveled on the train called Mume, and she's you could say she's like Mikasa but more open, but possibly, I'm not saying she is, but possibly just as badass as Mikasa. So they're talking about, hey, why did you stand up for that guy and everything? And she's learning more about his point of view of things. And guess what happens? A wall crashes down because a train crashed into it, because Kabaneri infested the train and the humans in it. So all the Kabaneri end up attacking human society, and they attack women, children, fathers, and brothers, just like the Titans in Attack on Titan. So another very big similarity. Now, the main character manages to break out of the cage during the commotion and goes to his warehouse where he has his invention hidden, and he wants to test it out on a Kabaneri. So as he's entering his warehouse, he cuts himself, leaving a trail of blood for the Kabaneri to be attracted to, which is understandable because they are very zombie-like, and he manages to fool a Kabaneri who's stumbling towards his house, you could say, and he's getting his gun ready and he's waiting for the Kabaneri to enter, but the Kabaneri doesn't. The Kabaneri turns out intelligent and breaks through his ceiling and jumps onto him and almost manages to kill him before the main character shoots him in like you could say the heart and kills him. So another thing that we learn, these creatures are not dumb, they're not foolish, they're just as smart as the Titans of Attack on Titan. So as the main character's accepting his win, he realizes he's been captured, and he does something that I kind of got confused by because he made it look so easy. So he takes metal and binds himself through with it and tightens it so much that the infestation that's reached all over his body, he's been cut on his arm by the way, or like somewhere around this type, and he manages to make it so tight that the infestation that's all around his body goes back to where the source wound is. So if you guys can explain that to me, that'd be awesome, but I don't understand how that happened. But maybe if they explain in the second or third episode in the next couple of weeks, that would be awesome. That's a huge problem for me right now because it just made no sense. So this is where our episode ends up being, with Mume running off to another royalty city, you could say, and that's all we know about her, kind of. So this anime, all in all, is really decent for an action series. Don't expect it to be some amazing storytelling, because I don't expect it to have that because of its similarities with Attack on Titan. I think we're going to be seeing more and more similarities to come in the future episodes, but hopefully not ones that can actually ruin the quality of this anime that it has, because the animation, the soundtrack, the moments, and the characters are very memorable. And it's an enjoyable series if you just take away the factor that you kind of have, it's a rehash of Attack on Titan. So it's enjoyable. Have fun enjoying it. If you're a fan of action anime series, this fits you perfectly. You will have a huge amount of joy watching this part of the episode. So have fun, and leave your comment down in the comment box below if you hated this anime, if you loved it, if you think it's not like Attack on Titan, if you think it's more like Attack on Titan than even I stated. If you have some fun facts about this series, or if you want me to review another anime series that you like, leave it in the comment box down below. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe. See you next week for the next episode review. If you want to watch other episode reviews, I have done some for Boku no Hero Academia and Bungo Stray Dogs that got released yesterday. And if you don't know already, watch my video about Netflix possibly acquiring the rights to the live-action Death Note movie being directed by the guy who directed The Guest. So, have a good day, have a good night, whatever time you're watching this. Good evening, good afternoon, and have fun.